Hi everybody, Matt back with you. Today we're doing part 4 of our canal walk. This will be the shortest of the videos purely because it's filling in the gap. At the end of part 3 we walked from Littleborough to Walsden. I did put Littleborough to Todmorden, but decided to keep Todmorden as its own separate entity for the sake of this video, because there's a few things of interest en route. And obviously living here, it's the bit I know best of all. So this will be a short one. When we get to part 5, we're going to head from Hebden to Sowerby Bridge. So let's see what we can find on this stretch of the Rochdale Canal. So it is a bit windy today, so apologise for any poor sound quality. But this is where we started from video 2, when we went from Todmorden to Hebden. In the side of the canal here is a remains of an old mill, which is currently, the land is for sale. Let's continue from this bridge here. So one thing you'll see a lot of on this stretch of the canal are geese and ducks, and it is nesting season, so the geese are going to start to be possibly a bit more hostile as they protect their nest. Where the canal opens up here, we have what I think is called Baltimore Marina. Interestingly, the canal is probably the only thing that looks the same here from the last 20 years or so. There have been houses built over there, there are new houses behind us here. All the mills long gone from this area. This is a nice little marina. Do you live on a barge? Or do you want to live on a barge? There's even a TARDIS. So all this to the right is new. This was all former mills as well. We now have a new Lidl recently built. The distance is the new Doctors. Again, I'm sure it was built in the last 15 years. So we've headed under Baltimore Bridge, carrying on the canal. Over to the left you can see again very few remains of the mills that were here. Better look at the Doctors building. And as we carry on we reach eventually pretty much Todmorden Centre. On the right, Working Man's Social Club, but also Todmorden Homing Society Pigeon Headquarters, the Midlands National Flying Club. Is pigeon racing still a thing? I'd love to know. So as always we have a sign to look at, and there is a little map here of the stops, the main stops on the Rochdale Canal. We've so far covered there to there. So over the course of the next week or so we've still got quite a lot to get through, including heading all the way to Manchester. All these years of passing here, I never knew that was called Shoplock. So what can we see in this picture? Well, we have the bridge with 1864 on it. In the background is the Guillotine Lock, which we'll look at in a minute. We have the Golden Lion. We have the Unitarian Church. We have a lot of fish. We have the old Unitarian church. This is the bottom of the Guillotine Lock. We have to head up under the bridge to carry on. Come out at Todmorden Lock. We get our look at the Guillotine Lock now. These work essentially the same way as the other locks that you can see here. But rather than open outwards, these work like a guillotine. If you imagine the French coming down, so it just lifts all as one to allow the boats to go through. So we're just on the other side of the canal here. Let's get a closer look at these fish. So behind me and next to that Guillotine Lock is the Golden Lion, which is one of Todmorden's oldest, if not the oldest pub. Unfortunately, the area of the canal here at the beginning of the 20th century seemed to be notorious for drownings. People either falling in accidents, or accidents even, or actually committing suicide here. Maybe I don't know if there's a difference of the water here, but it seemed to be every few months they were sadly bringing somebody up out of the water here. I was going to look at some of those people in depth, but I'm going to leave that for now, purely because of some current news headlines going around which might be a bit insensitive if I start talking about that anymore today. Yeah, a bit of a tragic past in this area. So as we rejoin the canal at Nanmoor's Bar, let's head further on the canal towards Walston. And we immediately find the amazing Great Wall of Todmorden. 1840 the canal opened. In 1880, roughly, they started to build this wall. It was just a hillside before and had started to bulge, so it's a retaining wall, and up above it was a goods yard for the train station, and by building this wall it allowed them to have that goods yard. The yard is obviously long since gone, even though the train station is still just about there. But I think this structure will stand for a very long time. I have done a separate video on the Great Wall, which doesn't last very long, but if you wanted to look at some pictures of its construction, as well as what is inside there, just search up Great Wall of Todmorden, you'll find it. And I'm not sure who counted, but there are reportedly 4 million bricks in the wall. What we've seen as well on this stretch is a heck of a lot of the old mills have long gone, and there are new structures in its place, including here. There is a new build, but we do see an old mill remains here. Well, I think it's now in use as a scrapyard. And just to get a full stretch of that wall. Wow. No. Just across the other side of the canal, you can see the foundation of what would have, I think, have been a bridge which would have gone up to the railway. I'm not sure how long that's been gone. I guess it went across from there to there, or maybe it was to move goods. Ah, hang on, change that. Perhaps it was to bring goods into this mill here. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, that would go straight across to there. I imagine that mill's been there possibly longer. I don't know everything. Help me out with that one. So we're now heading towards an area that's called Gawksholme, and just beyond here is one of the jewels of the Rochdale Canal. So this is Gawksholme Viaduct. It's a Grade 2 listed bridge. And this was designed by George Stephenson. Yes, that George Stephenson. 180 years ago, so around 1840, pretty much at the time the canal was built. It was originally a cast iron bridge, and it was supported by these fabulous 4 castellated towers. Sometime in the mid-20th century, not too sure when, they added some steel to the bridge to make it a more usable structure for the railway. But yeah, it is a fabulous thing to come across as you walk on the canal, and it is a fabulous piece of history here in Todmorden. There is even a date on the bridge just there, but can't quite make it out, but I think it says 1840. It's recently been upgraded and repainted as well. This is it from the other side. So from here we're pretty much in the spot where we left video 3, as we left Walsden into Todmorden. There's a building behind me here. This is one of the old poor houses from this area. Not anymore, obviously. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else on this last stretch. Let's see. It's the Gawksholme Lock House, which when I do these stories on the people who passed away in the canal, that will come into feature often. Seeing the alien on the roof there, next to Darth Vader, does remind me that I still need to do part 2 of Todmorden's UFO story. So as we head off the canal here at this bridge up onto the road, that concludes our stretch of the Todmorden Canal. So there we go, so we've covered Hebden Bridge all the way through to Rochdale on the canal over 4 videos. Obviously there's still quite a lot to go. So I hope you're enjoying these looks at the canal. Do let me know. The idea is, as mentioned previously, it's to try and get a snapshot of what it looks like on the canal in 2023. Who knows what it will look like further down the line, because it's seen plenty of changes in the last 200 years. So whether it's on the canal or not, I hope to see you in the next video, and we'll certainly be back on the canal very soon. So until then, take care.